always a party at Patchworks. Let's get this party started. Woot, woot. Hi, everyone. This is Julie from Patchworks, and I am so excited that you're joining us for another Must Sew TV here tonight at Patchworks. So, tonight is a super special Cinco de Mayo presentation. Yay! I think I had told you last week that I was going to be drinking margaritas or something. Well, maybe not margaritas, but we have a few festive surprises planned for you tonight that will be super exciting in addition to our regular content. So, we are going to get started talking about our Toes in the Sand by Jaybird quilts. So let's look down at our Jaybird Toes in the Sand. So this is the beautiful quilt along that we've been participating with, and Tammy's going to share Julie's block of the month.
I don't have any chat options right now. You can see them?
I can see the chat. So we were looking at some technical issues here. So I'm just going to share with you the Toes in the Sand that we have here. And you can see here that we have this great book from Jaybird. We're going to be doing block 5 today, and we're just going to talk about how pretty the fabrics are. And if you were looking to participate in our block of the month, we still have some fabrics available to hop in so that you can get all of the pretty fabrics to go along every single month. Now, in these gorgeous fabric options this month to make these 2 blocks, we do have one of my very favorite fabrics from this fabric line that is an ombre. So I just love, love, love how we go from this violet plummy color all the way to light pink. So super, super pretty. So all of the instructions are right in her book. If you're making the traditional size, that's this size right here, you're going to be making 2 blocks. And if you are going to be making the larger queen size, you're going to go ahead and make 4 blocks. Now, Heidi had made these 2 from our one set, and I believe she would have had almost enough fabric to go ahead and make that extra 2 blocks with the single set of fabric. I know some of you have been doing that or just adding just a titch extra fabric along the way. Okay, so any questions so far? I see that Tammy has gotten that chat to be able to work, so she's able to add to answer your questions and add links for you along the way. Behind me, I have this really fun little quilt sample for you, and this is a sample from the Pining for You quilt kit. And that is a quilt kit that has been released with the Daydreamer collection. And I thought, since we were talking Cinco de Mayo, and I was thinking tropical thoughts, and well, I'm not having a margarita, but I was thinking a little pina colada. I knew that this quilt was super awesome, but sometimes you need to see these blocks made up here. And what I really like about this is that it is relatively simple piecing, and you can also take advantage of fussy cutting here in order to get the images that you want just right. And so you'll notice here that we made 4 blocks, and they all have different backgrounds. In the pattern, Frank, let's just look overhead to see the cover shot here. So you'll see that there are several different colors of background for those pineapples, and there's a little color wash here. So you could just have all sorts of fun with the fabrics, and the finished size of this full-size quilt is 72 by 77. You could go ahead and add a border like we did to make it even larger, or you could use the fabrics and make smaller units like we have. So take a look at all of these yummy fabrics here. Just so many things. Now, unfortunately, this pattern is available only in this box kit. However, what I wanted to share with you is we have a super exciting deal for you tonight. Yay, a super exciting deal. I know that you all love deals and steals. So for this particular offer, this Pining for You kit is normally $199.99, but today it will be available for $174.99. So you'll be saving $25. And if you are a club member, well, you will get your bonus pricing as well. But this will not last for long. We are going to be offering this through midnight on Saturday, and then the price pops back up to the $199. It's a super awesome kit. We have a handful available. So if you think this is super exciting, I encourage you to hop on either hop on our website right away to order it, or let Tammy know. We will have to have payment by Saturday in order to secure that pricing for you if you wanted to take advantage. But I love how that turned out, and I hope you did too. Tammy, did you have a question for me?
Nope, but I added the link for the quilt.
So Tammy added the link for the quilt for you so that you can go ahead and press click to buy, and we can either leave it in store for you or ship it out to you so that you can take advantage of that super special deal. All right, so before we delve into our fabric options of the month, I want to share just a couple other fun things that the ladies had been working on to share with you. So last week we had shared with you some kind of festive party fabrics, and I just brought them out again. So we created a little Cinco de Mayo fabric collection that has these super cute mini tacos. And Frank's going to move the camera overhead so that we can see the other options that we have. So we have tacos and tomatoes and some corn and some chilies, some cilantro in a couple colors, some hot sauce, avocados, and tomatoes. Oh, we had tomatoes, so I need to show you the onions. We have a few of these available in several different colorways. I won't show them all to you here, but you can see they're super fun. And Karen thought it would be super awesome to share some fun, festive little projects. A lot of times we work on bigger things, and sometimes you need just tiny little stuff. So we have project number one, which is this tortilla warmer. So this tortilla warmer is really nice, and the way that you can do it is that you can make it in any size that you like. So if you like the little tortillas that like you use for street tacos, go ahead and make your circle smaller. If you really like the large burrito style and you need them bigger, you can do that. One thing I want to remind you of is that since this is similar to one of those tater warmers or bowl cozies, make sure if you intend to put it in the microwave that you use 100% cotton batting, 100% cotton fabric with no scrim, okay? And when you're washing your fabric, don't use fabric softener, okay? Also make sure if you are going to put this in the microwave, you stand next to it, okay? And don't use that Insulbrite stuff that has the metal in it because, well, you know what happens with metal in the microwave. All right, so enough for my mom talk there. And let's look overhead and we'll talk through how simple this is to go together. All right, so step one would be to select your fabrics. You can use fun, exciting fabrics or boring fabrics. Our samples are done in boring fabrics just because that's how it is. And what you're going to do first is you're going to layer your outside fabric, your inside fabric, and your batting. And you're going to put your, if you have circle templates, you can use them. But what we did here is we actually used household items. So for this one, Karen used a plate. For this one, she used a lid. And you can see here that these edges are pinked. And you can either use, you can use a regular rotary cutter, you can use your pinking shears, or you can use your rotary cutter with a either pinked blade or a wavy blade. And the reason why you'd want to use something like this is so that you don't fray, and it does a gentle notching in there so that, especially when you're going to be working with these curves, you don't necessarily have to do extra notching as you turn that, if that makes sense. Because when you sew curves, you need to have the fabric be able to move in a more fluid manner. Okay, and you can't see me dancing here. My hands are just kind of dancing. Tammy's laughing in the background. All right, so we cut it out, and that's okay if it's not perfect. This is a sewing project, not a precision piecing project. Got it? Got it. All right, so where did I put my instructions here? I don't know. Are they on the printer? They're on the printer. They're on the printer. So we have our layers, and we're going to construct them 2 halves at a time, okay? Thank you so much. What you want to do is that you want to set your sewing machine to the 3/8 seam allowance with the 2.5 stitch length for the construction. And then for our top stitching, we will be using a slightly longer stitch length and then do a top stitch or edge stitch. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you are going to, so that you can make it like this, you're going to mark your half circle, stitch them 2 halves, okay? And then what we're going to do, this is magic, you are going to turn each of them out, okay? Do you see that? And Karen is all about the tools, so she loves the little point trim turner here. You can use any boning tool, but that is a great turner there. And then give it a nice little press, and then you'll do that little edge stitch there so that it looks just like this. Ta-da! Then what you'll do is you'll have the 2 of them together, right? And we need to sew now this bottom side, okay? The part where it stays together. So we're going to be sewing right the outsides. We want to make sure that the outsides are together. And we're going to be sewing along here. But when we're sewing, we can't have everything all together. So we are going to have them here, sew, and leave a little hole. Okay, so we're going to have our little hole here and here. Oh my goodness, I did a horrible job at this. I did a horrible job. I'm going to make a separate little video that's all just about this guy here, and we'll have a different thing. Tammy's laughing at me. Don't laugh at me, Tammy. I'm really making this look much harder than what it is. And then we flip everything around, and we have this here, and we want to make sure that we stitch up the sides. Okay. I'm sorry, Karen, you did a fabulous job. Karen has these step outs in the store so that you can also get an up close from her in store when you want to go ahead and make that. But you can make these circles any size that you'd like. So that's super fun. The other thing that she made for us is a gadget cushion. How cute is this? So the gadget cushion is what you would use to put your little phone on here. And the reason why these little tabbies are here, because it could be a little chicken or whatever, but you have the tabbies because if you have a phone, I'm just going to grab a little cord here. So have you ever had it where you have your phone, and my phone's our camera right now, so I can't have it here, but have you ever had it where you have your phone here in your cord and then the cord like takes it and makes it go away? Yeah, I've had that too. So what you do is you run your cord through these little tabbies, and then what happens is that the weight makes sure that it's a little bit harder for your phone to go flying. You can also use this for the tablet, especially when you are making your fajitas in the kitchen. If you've never seen, oops, Frank is throwing his phone at me. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I caught that. Okay, so this would be how you would set it up. You could also put it like that. And you could play your little games. Super fun. Thank you so much, Frank, for sharing. Okay, so if you've never seen this before, you can take 10-inch squares of fabric, and all of your sewing instructions are right on here. So you just fuse it to the back side of your fabric. You cut along the lines. Really, really simple instructions. And the trick is that you're flipping part of it so that you get it to lay like this. And that's how you get this really cool shape in here. Super cool, super fun. You can use the acrylic filler in order to have it be a nice and weighted, or your other favorite filling material. We have all of these gadget cushions individually in stock, and each gadget cushion makes 2. Super cool, super fun. 365 makes 2. It's a great, great, great gift to give, or you might need 2 just for yourself. 1 for your bedroom, 1 for your office, 1 for your work, 1 everywhere. It also can be good in your sewing room. Karen uses hers for a pin cushion as well. All right, so those are our fun extra projects. Now, who is excited to look at the fabric that we have this month? I'm excited. All right, so we have 3 different offerings this month for you. We've gotten in a bunch of fabric. Remember last month we got in a whole bunch of wide backs, and we did have some of those restocked as well. So we have that beautiful blue Millefiori back in stock if you had been sad that that one was out of stock. So we have for you this gorgeous Tim Holtz. We have in his Abandoned 2, and I know this is not new, but it is new to us. Frank's gonna look overhead here. So we have put 12 of the gorgeous fabrics together, and we have those available in either the fat 1/8 size or the fat 1/4 size. Okay, so 12 fat 1/4 makes a fat stack, which is 3 yards of fabric. The next size that we have, the next fabric that we have, is our beautiful blue capes. So we got in more blue cape, which is, I guess I'm partial to blue. I love, love, love these colors, and so we put together some dots and spots and classics. Got back in the shark tooth and blue. Really beautiful in the fat eighth as well as the fat quarter. And of course, these are all available on the yard by the yard as well. And then our Tula grouping, because we are anxiously awaiting the arrival of Tiny Beasts and Tiny Coordinates, we took the opportunity to put together a gorgeous rainbow blender pack of fun backgrounds. So we go from light to dark, and every print that we have here, we've included all the fairy dust here. Every print that we've included has rainbows. So very, very fun. Works with everything. And we have the fat eighth collection as well as the fat quarter collection. So how this works is that if you are a FreeSpirit Club member, you get to pick one of them in the size of your subscription, or you can upgrade to a larger size, or you can upgrade to have them all, or one or the other. If there is a pack that you wanted from a previous month, you can absolutely choose that as well. If you are watching and you are not a member and you wanted to just buy one of these luscious packs of fabric, the fat eighth pack is $24.99 and the fat quarter bundle is $44.99 and is available for purchase to anyone who likes them. The project that we are going to make today is inspired by a beautiful free downloadable pattern from the FreeSpirit website. So I was inspired by beautiful Cafe Blues, and let me share a picture with you. So this picture here is the picture of the full-size quilt that is called Blue Bricks from the K Facet Collective. The full size is 57 by 84 and it is made from quarter yards, so your fat quarter bundle would be perfect, and then 2 borders. So this is, while it's not the exact fabrics that we have for our Cafe fat quarters here, you can see how beautifully they would go with that. Instead, I played with a smaller version with our fat eighth bundle. And so what I'd like to do right now is share with you a little video of how we put this together. And so let me know if we have questions along the way. We're going to be watching, I had done a little pre-recording earlier this afternoon in the classroom, and then we can talk about everything after the mini video. So now we're in the classroom, and I'm just going to show you how we might lay something out. So behind me, I have this design wall, and it is on top of a piece of insulation, that foam insulation, and we just have a piece of batting on top. You could also have something more sophisticated like the Cafe gridded design wall. That would be really nice. Anyhow, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my rectangles and half rectangles, lay them out so that we can look at what we might be doing. So we're going to be doing 11 rows across, I believe, and 5.5 down. So let us get started. We're choosing an odd number of rows here because we want to make sure that we have symmetry going on. I'm just taking them how they are coming off of the stack. I had arranged them in order here. Then I took one of my half blocks, put them here. Then we're going to start with a half block up here. I'm going to swap it out so it's a little bit different. Now don't go crazy because you only have 12 different fabrics to choose from. We're going to lay these out and then we'll see if we need to change them around. If there's something super obvious that you don't like while you're laying them out, of course, change them before you move on. So I'm going to have the full block up at the top here. I'm a little obsessive. I don't want those to touch. I'm going to kick that to the back and pull out this bright one. So these are all pretty blendy. So some may actually be different, but still look the same. And then as I was cutting this one out, you can see here, I have a little bit of a selvage cut in there. Now that's not optimal, but let's just say you have that in your piece. What you might want to do is, well, number one, make sure if you have that 1/4 inch in it, you know it'll get caught in the seam allowance. So once again, not optimal, but especially when you're working with pre-cuts or a finite amount of fabrics, you can leave it in there as long as you know it's going to be in the seam allowance. If you aren't sure, I would make sure it's on the outside edge so that in case if you need to shave it off, you can. All right. So I'm going to continue laying these out, and then what we'll do is we'll come back and we will check and see what this looks like. Okay, so we laid everything out and we are 5.5 down by 11 across. And this will turn into a 33 by 39 after we stitch it together. Okay, so it's going to be a small little throw. We're going to border it up so that it can be a 45 by 52. However, you can see here we have a few extra pieces from how we cut. So if you had wanted to, we can go through and rearrange them. Some things that you might be looking for are, do you have repeats going vertically or horizontally? Okay. Now, one of the other things that you can do is take a picture and then look at it, move things around, see what you like. You also want to make sure that you have correctly staggered your half blocks. So we started in the bottom and then we went bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, top across, so that at the number 1 and number 11 row, you have them at the bottom. After you're satisfied with how they are arranged, what I'm going to have you do is make sure you have that final picture of how it's laid out and that you're pleased with it. And then row by row, you are going to stitch them. So if you're super organized, you can of course just scoop everything up and go to your sewing machine. However, what I'd recommend you doing is marking the top. Now, when I mark the top, you could have some special pins, or you could simply put 2 pins at the top, okay? So put 2 pins at the top, and then I would pick them up in the order that I want to stitch them, okay? Come to your sewing machine and you will stitch and stitch and stitch. If you really wanted to, you could also go ahead and pin those seam intersections right away before you go and do that. After you're done with that vertical row, you're going to press it and hang it back up here, okay? Proceed to number 2, then 3, then 4. Follow me? It's not the quickest method, but if you are very, very specific as how you want that layout, you really need to be very, very purposeful with how you assemble it. After you're done with that, you can then put your 1 to 2, make sure you pin, and then I would do 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 4 and 5, I'm sorry, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, so make your pairs together, sew your pairs together. And for this last number 11, sew your 9, 10, and 11 together so that you're not sewing a single row on a long piece. I've always found more success when you put your chunks together so that you have evenly weighted pieces. Sometimes when you're putting a pieced unit on the end, it can warp or just be more easy to have some difficult maneuvering. After you're all set, you can go ahead and add your borders as desired. I have decided that I'm going to be using this gorgeous eclectic element here for my inner border, and then I'm going to pick one of these really bright and vibrant ones for an outer border. So I'm going to do a 2.5 inch cut, which finishes to 2, and a 4.5 inch, which will finish to 4 for my borders. And that is how I would go about assembling this. Let me know if you have any questions. All right, so what did you think? Did you like our little format there where we were able to be a little bit more polished with showing you some technique? And of course, my super speed video of the little demonstration. So I see here that Linda has a question first about what about framing out the shapes to make it bigger yet. And of course, you absolutely can do that. And if you watch our other clubs, we had presented a very similar quilt from in our Moda University where we had a spacer piece in between there. So yes, you can absolutely make this bigger. You can, so this particular rectangle size is 3.5 by 7.5, and I'll get into showing you how you're going to get that out of your fat eighth pack. What I did want to show you is that this here is that grid that I was talking about in the video. So this CAFE grid is an excellent, excellent, excellent makeshift design wall that you can just hang one length up on your wall. And so if you're in your sewing room and you're okay with just literally tacking it into the side, you can have one per project and even roll it up in between. So with our pieces here, I'm not going to go into too great of detail, but from your fat eighth pack, especially from the Tim Holtz fabric. So this particular fabric line that is so saturated and so dynamic of a print, it is actually a digital print. So what does that mean? It's run through a very, very fancy inkjet printer rather than being screen printed with different layers of screens. So it is also a fabric, and let's look overhead, Frank. We have a very wide selvage, okay? Very wide selvage. Do you see that? It's a beautiful selvage, but it's printed a little bit differently. Plus, it is, I truly would say you have about 41, 42 usable inches here. So it's pushing the limits of what's available. So we did run into the situation where I had a couple selvages still in my quilt. What I would recommend before you cut is that you do spray your fabrics and press them. So I do like to pre-starch my fabrics. And then when you're cutting, I will have you cut your 3.5-inch chunks this way and then subcut your 7.5. Now you are going to need, for your small rectangles, I will give you more specific layouts where you are going to want a total of 11, but since 2 come in a pair, you'll have 12. From 6 of your fabrics, you're going to cut 2 4.5-inch pieces from that first chunk. You need a total of 55 of the 3.5 by 7.5 and 11 of the smaller 4.5 by 3.5 that you will be able to get from your Fat Eighth pack. Or I believe I saw that this is an excellent use of scraps. Yes, stuff that you have hanging out. The fewer fabrics you have, the harder it is to have it be scrappy. So if you have, you know, a strip or two of many, many different fabrics, this would make a very interesting quilt, and this could be extended much larger as well. So with this particular fabric, I would encourage you to cut each piece individually. I do love, love, love my power cutting, but I would encourage you, especially with something where you're uncertain of the selvages, that you take advantage of individually cutting so that you maximize the use of your 12 pieces of fabric. Now, putting together a quilt like this is excellent on its own, and let's just take a peek of that little quilt top that we did again. And so this is the unfinished version of the sample that we showed you, and I'm satisfied with the placement. Because you have those few extra pieces, you could go ahead and swap out 1 or 2 rather than having to worry about painstakingly flip-flopping one or the other. If you're unsatisfied, just take one of them off and put another one in. Add as many borders as you'd like. Now, when you have a background piece like this, it's beautiful and contemporary that you can just quilt it up as is, or you can use it as the background for an applique piece, as in a beautiful Laura Heine project, or one of the other inspirations that was on the FreeSpirit website. I'm just going to show you this here. Oh, it didn't actually add in between it. It disappeared. So there is a quilt here. Let me just see if I have it. I do not. Okay, so you could go ahead and applique some really cool things, even geometric elements that would be super cool to have on your quilt to make it super fun. And Frank, can I actually have you just get down that square pillow with the flowers on it? So it's going to be totally different fabric, but just so that you get what I mean. We're just going to have a sample of that. So are there any questions while we just get that little sample? Sure, this flannel grid fabric that you had a question about that I didn't prep Tammy, so she's taken a little bit by surprise. And so it is by K Facet. This is his traditional, what he calls his design wall grid. And it is a 2-inch grid. If you had wanted multiple lengths of it, I encourage you to actually tape it together. I personally have tried to sew it together, and I've been sad that it's been very, very challenging to line up because it's fabric. You know, it's not wood or paper, it's fabric. So, and in his classes, he'd even have you just tape it. So you can open this up and then tape one. So what you could do is you could tape one with on a one of those foam boards. Are they called insulation boards, Frank, or foam boards? Yeah. He doesn't know. Okay, so, and then you can just place them next to each other, or you could just leave them loose and then roll them up so that you can store different projects together. The bolt that I have in stock at the instant is $12.99, and it is something that is always available from FreeSpirit. So when I replace this bolt, it will be more. So whoever hops in and gets it right away, you are going to get a superior deal. Okay. All right. I'm going to rush at once now. So what I was talking about is using the background. So this is totally a different project, but using your background, very simple print, and then doing some giant graphic applique on it. And so the applique can be something super simple, like this giant flower, or it can be very intricate, like one of those beautiful Laura Heine pieces of art. So just be inspired and be creative and let it take you wherever it will lead you. All right. Any other questions? No. Okay. So the other thing that I wanted to share with you is that, oh my goodness, this is super exciting. So we are, of course, getting excited for the Tula Bank Tiny Beasts Tiny Coordinates collection, and we do have a ton of yardage, a ton of pre-cuts, as well as the Nutty for You quilt kit that will be coming in. Yes, we've already ordered the Paris Deja Vu, which is somewhere in the middle of all of this. And then, oh my goodness, so exciting, I've already heard about the October release. So I am very pleased to tell you that the Cafe, he's turning 85 this year, and we are going to be getting his collection in celebration of turning 85, where he's recolored some of his most favorite prints. And I actually am super excited about this collection because a lot of our favorite prints are in there, which is really, really cool. And then if you haven't seen and you love all of the Tula things, the Tula Moon Garden is up on our website. So we currently have the manufacturer pre-cuts on the website. We will be offering full and half yard bundles. Now this is way out in the future in October, but I just wanted to let you know because some of you have been asking me about it, if we're going to get it. Of course we're getting it. And if you need like giant amounts, of course we need to know. So we'll be getting all the gorgeous wide backs with it as well. And the big thing that I need to know is if I have 8 million of you that need this quilt kit. So this is the Moon Garden quilt kit, and that is called Rise and Shine. The Rise and Shine kit, I don't have the dimensions in front of me. I thought I did, but I don't. This particular kit is $278.99. It is expected to ship in October. Of course, we know delivery dates have been super crazy. So it is available for pre-order on the website. This pattern is only available through the quilt kit. And we will have a limited availability in stock. But if you had needed it, we do have it available for pre-order. That is how you can secure your kit with us.
I think Addie might want one.
Oh, Tammy's telling me that there might be 1 or 2 of you that need this. So don't worry, we can hook you up. I know people. So there is a little bit of a time constraint if 1 million of you want that kit. So we always order a few, but to be guaranteed, I do need to place the kit order by May 23rd, which is incredibly early given that it's first coming out in October. So you can either roll the dice or make sure you sign up and purchase it today.
Does it have to be a FreeSpirit member to order the kit?
Oh, so Tammy asked a very important question of, can anybody order the Tula Pink fabrics and quilt kits? Absolutely, yes. Anybody watching can order anything that I'm showing you, okay? There is nothing secret about any of this. So we're sharing links with you. There's nothing super secret. go ahead, take advantage of the pre-orders that we have available for you. We want to make sure to be able to offer you everything that Free Spirit has to offer, that within what we bring into the store on a regular basis. And if there are kits, though, that you see that are from something we normally don't carry, there may be minimums, but otherwise we are able to also get in even some stuff that I don't show you. Did that answer the question?
I think so.
Okay, great. So thank you for asking. And on the website, just know that for any of the pre-order things, I do encourage you to place them on separate orders from in stock versus future orders. So my website's not quite smart enough to be able to separate that on its own and split into 2 orders. And as always, we have been offering free shipping for orders over $80 if you are watching from afar. We will be announcing as soon as it comes in the arrivals of the new lines, which is really exciting, which is hopefully soon. I haven't gotten a notification from Jaftex that anything has shipped yet. We would be on the first round of shipping though. Are there any questions tonight? No questions. Okay. So I just want to do a quick recap here of what we have. So we have the Pining for You kit, which is our special deal of the night for you. So the Pining for You quilt kit is normally $199.99, and we have reduced the price by $25 for 5/5, right? May 5th, 5 times 5 is 25. So we took $25 off, and this is $174.99, which all this awesome fabric to make it the full-size quilt. That sale will be in effect while supplies last or until Saturday at midnight. And then the price goes back up to $199.99. For our offerings for today's packs, club members are able to pick up one. And if you are watching and are not a club member, by all means, you are able to purchase one of these. So we have put together 3 beautiful collections this month. We have the Tula Rainbow Background Pack, including fairy dust and some other beautiful rainbow prints. All of them have rainbow prints on top of beautiful color. We have our Caifs in blue, which is inspired by the Blue Bricks pattern, which is a free and downloadable pattern available from the FreeSpirit website. And then we have a gorgeous array of Alchemy 2. And Abandoned 2. I just, if my head were not attached today. Okay. And we do have the small variation of that free and downloadable pattern available to club members as well as in store. If you are a Toes in the Sand participant, those packs are available as well. So we have already shipped out if you receive it by mail, and it is available to be picked up tomorrow.
Question. Have you received the Decade Spring 2020 collection?
So question is, what new Caif have we gotten in? So the new Caif that we have in store right now are blues and some black and whites as well. I currently, because of shipping and timing, I have some Caif coming a little bit later, so that spring 2022, I don't have my magic 8-ball. I wish I did, and I gambled a little bit wrong. We're now knowing that we have the capacity to be able to carry a lot more of our Tim Holtz and Caif, as well as our Tulas, and then Victoria Finley Wolf's, that next line is completely on order. So Frank just was checking. So currently we did not get those spring 2022 releases. What other questions?
I don't have any other questions.
Okay. Well, I would like to thank you for tuning in tonight. I had a lot of fun with you. I hope you had fun as well. Make sure to tune in every Thursday night to Must Sew TV, either on our Facebook or YouTube channel. I also found out from Restream that we might be able to embed this right into our website, which would be super, super awesome. So cross your fingers that technology will be in our favor. We will let you know as soon as those boxes are coming for that Tiny Coordinates and Tiny Beasts. Don't worry. I've been fielding emails every day. Don't worry, you are not bothering me. I love to answer your questions, so keep on asking us, and we'll make sure to keep you posted with when that exciting fabric is going to be arriving. If you are not already a member of our Facebook group, make sure to sign up to our Facebook Patchworks Party group so that you can share in all the fun show and tell and see what everyone is always up to. Have a great night, happy quilting, and we'll see you soon.